And it's so much more ugly and more psychotic than any of us could have possibly envisioned. Essentially, she got caught.
Blake Lively, the Gossip Girl star who has captured audiences with her charm and elegance, is now at the center of a scandal that has left the internet reeling. Over the weekend, shocking reports surfaced revealing that the actress was arrested after being caught filing a fraudulent lawsuit. This revelation is nothing short of a bombshell, sending shockwaves through the media and leaving fans, critics, and even legal experts stunned. But how did Blake, who seemed to be living a picture-perfect life with her husband, Ryan Reynolds, fall into such a messy situation? Let's dive into the details of this case, which has now become far more complex and disturbing than anyone could have anticipated. The arrest stemmed from a lawsuit filed by Blake under questionable circumstances, one that has raised significant concerns about her intentions. The lawsuit, which was initially filed in September 2024, was presented as a legitimate attempt to subpoena critical evidence, text messages that Blake and her legal team claimed would support her accusations of mistreatment by actor Justin Baldoni. However, the lawsuit was nothing more than a strategic move to cover up another agenda, one that involved manipulating the legal system to gain an advantage over her alleged enemies. At first glance, the case seemed simple enough. Blake Lively, in partnership with her company Vanzan, filed a lawsuit seeking to obtain incriminating text messages from Baldoni's former PR team. The message behind this action was clear. Blake was attempting to expose a conspiracy to harm her reputation. But as the facts began to surface, it became clear that something was far off in the story. The lawsuit didn't mention Blake and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, at all, which led many to suspect that they were trying to distance themselves from the case. Furthermore, the case, filed under the name of Vanzan, was intentionally vague. It did not name the individuals accused of harming Blake's business and reputation, choosing instead to list Jane Does in place of specific defendants. This tactic, while not uncommon, raised more red flags when further scrutiny revealed that there was no mention of a judge being assigned to the case. What made this even more disturbing was the fact that the lawsuit appeared to be an orchestrated effort to collect sensitive information under the guise of a legitimate legal action. In fact, it soon became clear that the true purpose of the lawsuit was not to secure justice, but to obtain subpoena power without oversight. This strategy, as pointed out by legal experts, violated basic legal principles. According to attorney Brian Friedman, who is representing Justin Baldoni, the lawsuit was done in bad faith and was intended to circumvent the usual legal processes. The intention was to use the subpoena to collect private information without giving the accused parties, Baldoni's former PR team, the ability to contest it. The scandal began to take a darker turn when it was revealed that the very texts Blake claimed were crucial to her case had been obtained through questionable means. These text messages, which were allegedly part of a smear campaign orchestrated by Baldoni's former publicist, Stephanie Jones, had been handed over as part of the lawsuit. They included a particularly damning message from a member of the PR team, Melissa Nathan, who reportedly said, "We can bury anyone." This statement, published in a New York Times expose in December 2024, seemed to confirm that there was indeed an effort to take down Blake Lively. But the larger question was how Blake had obtained these texts and why they had not been disclosed earlier. It soon became apparent that the text messages had been handed over as part of a subpoena obtained by Stephanie Jones. However, things didn't add up. How did Jones, a key figure in this drama, manage to provide these messages to Blake's legal team? The answer lay in the actions of Jennifer Ale, a former employee of Jones's PR firm. Jennifer had left the firm, taking with her the texts that would later play a pivotal role in the case. Upon leaving, she planned to start her own PR firm, but the situation became much more complicated when she was forced to surrender her personal phone, which contained crucial messages about Blake, Lively, and her reputation. The texts included not only plans to damage Blake's reputation, but also references to the people involved in this conspiracy, including Justin Baldoni. The case took another unexpected turn in December 2024, when the lawsuit was suddenly withdrawn, just days before Blake filed a formal complaint accusing Justin Baldoni of mistreatment with the California Civil Rights Department. This move led many to question the timing and motivations behind the legal actions. Fans quickly picked up on the fact that the legal strategy was not transparent and may have been designed solely to create a cover story for the actions that had been taken earlier. Attorney Ron Zamron, commenting on the developments, described Blake's actions as super shady. He pointed out that the lawsuit was not only an attempt to secure subpoena power, but also an attempt to manipulate the legal process in a way that would benefit Blake and her team. While Blake's attorneys, Ezra Hudson and Mike Gotadl, attempted to downplay the allegations, claiming there was nothing untoward about their actions, many fans and legal experts remained unconvinced. They pointed out that the nature of the lawsuit raised serious ethical concerns and that it appeared to be a deliberate attempt to sidestep legal processes in order to secure evidence for a public smear campaign. The evidence that had been uncovered so far was troubling. It was clear that the lawsuit, while officially filed in good faith, had been crafted with the intent to collect sensitive information under false pretenses. The subpoena, which sought to access private communications, did not mention Blake or her husband, Ryan Reynolds, as interested parties. Instead, it listed vague references to Jane Doe's, leading many to believe that this was an attempt to obscure the true motives behind the lawsuit. The lack of transparency regarding the subpoena and the absence of a judge in the case further fueled suspicions about the legitimacy of the entire legal action. One of the most telling pieces of evidence came in the form of the company behind the lawsuit, Van Zaan. This company, registered as an LLC, had a history of dealing with large clients, including Ryan Reynolds. Van Zaan's connection to Reynolds raised further questions about the role that his company played in this entire scheme. It was later revealed that the company had been involved in shipping fabric and furniture to Reynolds' home in Westchester County. While it is not uncommon for actors and business people to use LLCs for personal reasons, the specific nature of Van Zaan's business activities and the fact that it had never filed any legal action before made it a highly suspicious entity. The case seemed to spiral out of control as more and more details emerged. It became clear that Blake and her team had been involved in a concerted effort to manipulate the legal system in order to secure evidence against their perceived enemies. The use of subpoena power without oversight, the vague nature of the lawsuit, and the lack of transparency regarding the names of the accused all pointed to a deliberate effort to mislead the court and the public. The involvement of PR professionals, such as Stephanie Jones and Jennifer Ale, added another layer of complexity to the case, with many questioning how deep the conspiracy ran. As the situation unfolded, it became evident that the scandal was far from over. Fans and legal experts alike have been left questioning not only Blake's motivations, but also the lengths to which she and her team were willing to go to destroy Justin Baldoni's reputation. It seems that the case has opened a Pandora's box of deceit, manipulation, and legal maneuvering that could have far-reaching consequences for all those involved. The public's trust in Blake Lively, once so carefully cultivated over the years, now hangs in the balance. The case has yet to reach its final chapter, but it is clear that the damage has been done. As more information comes to light, the question remains: can Blake Lively recover from this scandal, or is her reputation irreparably tarnished? Only time will tell, but for now, the story continues to evolve, with fans and critics eagerly awaiting the next twist in this shocking tale.